Okay, sit yourself onto your lift and then come into a good cross-leg position. Just come into cross legs, have a little wriggle about. Hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest and draw your shoulders down away from your ears. So down at the floor, look at something that isn't moving. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Fill in the lungs from the bottom to the top and empty in your lungs from the top to the bottom. Release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste, press the palms firmly together, lengthen from your armpits into your elbows into the heels of your hands, the heels of your hands into the fingertips. And with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Focus on filling your lungs from the bottom to the top and emptying your lungs from the top to the bottom. Just acknowledging the rhythm of your breath. And with an exhalation, draw your chin down to meet your chest, lift your chest up to meet your chin. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have generated in the heart area. Just seek to generate a sense of thankfulness for something or someone or somewhere. Holding on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area. And then gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. And then as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, elevate the heart area upwards, take a deep inhalation. And then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across and your ribs and your shoulders. And then come back to the center, hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, and then turn to the left. drawing your abdomen and your ribs and your shoulders across. And then very gently come back to the center. Just hold onto your knees for a moment, just lift up into the chest, resetting the spine, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. So we'll start with a few Brahmaris, just the humming exhalation until your lungs are empty. So it's a normal inhalation and then a low humming note until the lungs are empty. And then a normal inhalation. And then you continue that way. So normal inhalations, long, slow, deep exhalation on a hum until the lungs are empty. So just take some normal breaths. You can keep your eyes open, just looking at the floor or looking directly ahead. Just look at something that doesn't move. Just normal inhalation, normal exhalation. And then a normal exhalation, a normal inhalation, and then we'll do 5. Just in your own time. The last one. And then bring the breath back to a normal rhythm. Just hold on to that resonance in the chest and in the throat and in the sinuses. Maintaining that energy as you lift yourself off your seat bones and then come onto all fours. Have your hands as wide apart as your mat. So we can go straight up into dog down. If you're not doing dog down, you can do dandasana instead. Just come up into dandasana or dog down and just find your body in 3 dimensions. Just feel where your body is in 3 dimensions. Just feel where the arms are in relation to the hands, in relation to the shoulders, spine, the hips, the thighs. Just listening to the breath, activating the legs as you know how. Just spending some time in the pose, observing the balance of action. Just deep inhalations and exhalations. Aiming to address the imbalances that happen on the inside. And then keep the hands where they are, keep the feet where they are, swing the hips forwards, come into dog up, pushing into the heels, turning the crease of the elbows to face forwards, and then draw the lower ribs through the arms, push into the heels, keep the legs away from the floor, feel the abdomen stretch, diaphragm region. And then come back up into dog down. Just waking the body up, just using the pose from the feet and the hands into the legs and into the arms, just to identify your internal balance. Step your feet forwards, just come up into standing position, and then from the blocks for your hands, have your feet as wide apart as your mat. Have your feet on the edges of the mat, have your hands on your hips, wing the elbows towards each other so you can really feel the shoulder blade region stretch. Lift up into the chest, keep the head lifted, keep the chest lifted, hinge at the hips and then reach forwards. Bring the hands onto the blocks, project the chin and the chest forwards, lengthening the fronts of the thighs forwards, fronts of the thighs backwards into the backs of the thighs. Again, just observing your internal balance of action. Are you working, is your left side working evenly with your right side? Are you extending evenly? Are you extending into the spine as with much focus as with the legs? Where is your weight in your feet? Is it the front of the feet or the back of the heels? If you can go down lower, then do. Just work with observation. Observation and internal balance. Balance of action. If you can reach the floor, then do. If you can reach around the backs of the heels, then do. But keeping the legs straight, keeping the spine extended. Focus on inhalations and exhalations, how that inhalation brings energy into the body. And then bring your hands onto your hips and then come up into a standing position, bending your knees on the way up if you need to. Come into Tadasana. Just spend some moments focusing on deep inhalations. Just filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, but also at the same time filling the lungs into the abdomen, breathing down into the abdomen. arms out nice and wide in towards the chest, and then step or jump your feet nice and wide. Turn your left toes in, your right leg and foot all the way out, just being mindful of the alignment of your feet. And then come down, find the shin. Just feel the body in 3 dimensions. Look up if you can, or if you struggle with that, look forwards or down. Just feel the legs in 3 dimensions. Feel how the legs relate to the feet, how the feet relate to the legs. Suck the energy of the body from the feet into the legs, into the hips, into the spine. Just feel where your body is in 3 dimensions. Reach up, come back to the centre, swap the feet around, turn the right toes in, and the left leg and foot all the way out. Come over to that side. Reach up. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Back to the centre, bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump your feet back together. Come into Tadasana, just allow the body to reset in Tadasana. So focus on deep inhalations. Bringing the breath down into the abdomen if you can. So when you inhale, naturally your abdomen bulges outwards a little to make space for the diaphragm that draws down to draw in the air into the lungs. So it can be deeply satisfying to breathe down into the abdomen. So with your inhalation, try and focus on bringing the breath into the abdomen. Just get a couple of blocks on the right side of your mat for parsvottanasana. You might not need them, but it's useful to have them there. Make sure you're not going to jump on them. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step your feet nice and wide, and then turn the left toes in steeply, the right leg and foot all the way out. Pick up the back heel and turn that out a little bit more. So we're trying to bring the hips level here, so the pelvis should be parallel with the front edge of the mat. Have heel on heel, or you can go a little bit wider if you feel like you need a bit of extra balance. Have the hands on the hips, lift up into the chest. Keeping both legs straight, locking the kneecap really firmly with that back leg. Lifting up into the chest, winging the elbows back, and then come forwards, reach down, find the blocks. So you might only use those initially just to reset the hips, just feel that the hips are level. Turn the back leg inwards, the front of the thigh inwards. Turn the front of the front thigh inwards, so that you can bring the hips level with the back, so the thighs broadening outwards. If you can, come down lower, projecting the chin and the chest forwards, keeping the legs straight. Stay at the height that you feel that you can continue to extend into the spine. If you come all the way to the floor and your back just does this, just kind of rounds, then it's not going to feel very pleasant. So if you need more lift to help you to extend the spine forwards, then do. Try and draw the shoulder blades in towards the chest. Walk your hands back towards that back leg if you've got your hands on the floor, or just stay with the blocks if you haven't, aiming all the time for keeping the back straight. Bringing the chest down towards the legs, keeping the head lifted initially. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, feeling the stretch and extension of the legs. And then just bend that front leg, step forward to the back leg, and then come up into a standing position. Try not to bang your head. And then come into Tadasana. Activate the legs evenly. Listen to the breath. Try and breathe down into the abdomen. Abdominal breathing brings real consciousness of your energy. The shamanic breath. And then bring blocks over to the left side of the mat, and then just reset yourself in Tadasana. Step your feet apart or jump your feet apart, and then turn the legs to face the left side of the room. So remember, turning that back heel all the way out. Turning the fronts of your thighs inwards, so that the backs of the thighs feel like they broaden outwards. That's the key to level hips. Hands on your hips, lift it up into the chest, and then keeping that back leg straight, keeping the head lifted as you come forwards, keeping the back straight as you come forwards. Reach down and find the blocks. Just reset the hips, activate the legs. Breathe into the shamanic region. Just come down a little bit at a time, or just stay at the level that allows you to extend into the spine. So it might feel different on this side. You might have to make some extra adjustments. Keep extending the spine forwards, and then if you can, you walk your hands back towards the back leg, but just feel where you are in 3 dimensions first, keeping the spine extending, keeping the shoulder blade region drawing in towards the front chest. Breathing into the shamanic region, into the abdomen. And then bend that front leg, step forwards, come up into a standing position, just back into Tadasana. And then just come down onto your knees, have your hands as wide apart as your shoulders. Step yourself back, turn your toes under, and come back up into dog down. Just observe how the pose feels different. And work on bringing evenness of action. Just keep your attention in the pose, just focusing on that shamanic breath, breathing into the abdomen, observing how satisfying that breath is for your energy, observing the pose from the inside, acknowledging the balance of action of the physical body. Observing the pose from the floor upwards, up into the hips. Okay, come down onto your knees. Just sit back on your heels for a moment. Just observe the lightness of your energy, how your energy has changed. And then sitting back on the heels, knees apart slightly, so that you can bring the chest through. Come forwards into Adho Mukha Virasana. Aiming to keep the seat bones down on the heels. Sit yourself back on your heels, lift up into the chest, just observing your energy. Listening to the sound of the breath as it enters and as it exits. Okay, grab yourself a bolster. If you haven't got a bolster, you can just use some cushions. Have a bolster and a blanket for your head. So we're just going to do Supta and we're going to focus on a little bit of Ujjayi pranayama. This is really good for just quietening the brain and bringing levelness to the body and to the mind when you're feeling kind of under pressure. So just find your position to start off with. So have the bolster right in the middle of the mat. You can always, if it feels like unusual, if it feels unpleasant or strange, although it should probably feel really lovely, if it feels weird to come back too far, you can always put your bolster on a little ramp. So you have one block like that, one block like that, and then you come back onto a little ramp. But coming all the way down onto the floor could be really nice for the opening action of the chest. So just sit yourself close to the bolster, not right on top of it, and then push into your hands, lift your chest up, and guide yourself down along the bolster. So like I say, if you haven't got a bolster, just use some cushions. Just position the folded blanket underneath your head so it doesn't feel like, so your head doesn't feel like it's rolling back. So maybe you need to, you might feel like you want to roll it up a little bit more just to give yourself a really good support underneath the head. If there's discomfort in your hips, you can put blocks on the outsides of your thighs. Otherwise, just enjoy that feeling of openness around the abdomen and the diaphragm region and the collarbone and the chest. Just feel that openness. And then just spend a few moments just drawing the breath in through the nose down into the abdomen. So whenever I'm feeling a little tense or anxious about something, I find that breathing into the abdomen is deeply calming and satisfying. So just spend a little time just listening to the breath. As you inhale, observe how not just the abdomen but the chest expands upwards and outwards. Just accommodating that inhalation. And as you exhale, the chest lowers and relaxes. Just observe your breath without trying to control it. Just observe your in-breath. Observe your out-breath. Listening to the sound of the breath. Listening to the sound of the breath as it enters and as it exits. Okay, when you're satisfied that your attention is inside the breath, Acknowledging the feeling of the breath, the accommodation of the breath, accommodation of the out breath as well as the in breath. And we will move on to the next stage where you take long, slow, deep, deliberate exhalations until the lungs are empty, and then normal inhalations. So a little bit like the Brahmari practice, exhalations until the lungs are empty. So maybe a little longer than typical exhalations, and then normal inhalation. So take some normal inhalations, normal exhalations. Take a normal exhalation, a normal inhalation. And then a long, slow, deep, deliberate exhalation until the lungs are empty. And then normal inhalation. And then either intermittent exhalative extensions, just with normal breathing in between, or continual. Continual is better if you can continue to breathe in normally and extend the out breath continually, that's good. But if you can't, then just do one extended exhalation, some normal breaths, and then go back and do another, and then normal breaths. So whichever works best for you. Normal inhalations, slow, deep, steady exhalations until the lungs are empty. And then complete the cycle that you're on, completing with a normal exhalation. And then bring the breath back to a normal rhythm. Ujjayi stage 2, or stage 3 rather, is where you have normal exhalations and long, slow, deep inhalations, breathing in from the bottom of the lungs to the top, filling the lungs completely, and filling the lungs until they're completely full. and you know that they're full because your sound of your breath will stop. So normal exhalations, long, slow, deep, steady inhalations until the lungs are full, and then normal exhalations. So whenever you're ready, just take a normal exhalation, a normal inhalation, normal exhalation, then a slow, deep, steady inhalation until the lungs are full and until the sound of the breath stops. Allowing with the in-breath the chest to rise upwards and outwards naturally. So don't be afraid to keep breathing into the abdomen at the same time, just to get a sensation of a really full breath, as well as breathing from the bottom of the lungs to the top. So no conscious holding of the breath at any stage, just letting the breath be normal with the out breath and deep with the in breath. And then just bring the breath back to a normal rhythm. And then stage 4 of Ujjayi pranayama is where you extend the out breath until the lungs are empty, and you extend the in breath until the lungs are full in the same way, breathing into both lungs evenly, breathing out of both lungs evenly. So combining stages 2 and 3 so that you extend both the out breath and the in breath. So whenever you're ready, just a long, deep, steady exhalation until the lungs are empty, and then followed by the same for the out breath until the lungs are full. So this practice is deeply calming, just focusing on the breath, focusing on the energy of the breath, filling the lungs completely and emptying them completely. just bringing the breath back to a normal rhythm, just ending on an out breath, just bringing the breath back to a normal rhythm. And then just, if your legs are still in Supta, just straighten your legs, just stay on the bolster. Just breathe normal inhalations and exhalations. Just lengthening the body into a supported shavasana. Let the body relax into the floor, let the limbs feel heavy. Allow the sound of your breath to just be normal. Allow the limbs to release into the floor and to find that feeling of energetic lightness. Just normal inhalations, normal exhalations. Just letting the body release into the floor. Okay, without disturbing yourself too much, push your elbows into the floor, just bring yourself up into a cross-leg position. Just hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest. Just feel the energy that you've released into the blood. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the right side, bringing the back hand firmly into the floor to keep the spine lifted and long. Maintain the position on the front edge of the seat bones to maintain the levelness of your seat bone. Back to the centre. Hold onto your knees and then turn to the left. And then come back to the centre. Just for a moment or two, just have the blanket over your head, have the bolster underneath your knees, and then just allow yourself, just only for a minute or two, down onto the floor. Just let the body relax completely into the ground. So it's ensuring that you have aligned yourself in a good straight line. Maybe observe how you can breathe deeply. The lungs feel relaxed and toned. Just let the body relax into the floor. Feel the lightness of your energy radiating from the bones and into the muscles. To the muscles and the organs. And the skin. Distributing that feeling of energetic lightness evenly down into the toes, into the fingers, and up into the top of the head. And then just get ready to disturb yourself. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Just bring yourself back into this pose of shavasana. Bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster. Have the feet apart, the knees together. Just resting your back into the floor. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. Just a gentle massage on the spine. And then gently roll over onto your right side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg. Come back up into a seated position. Just a final cross legs with your hands in the masti. Just a final spinal lift. Drawing your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you've released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the inversions bring to the body and to the mind. Acknowledging the energy that the pranayama has allowed to settle. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to seek to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then when you're ready, just gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. And then raise your head. Allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you've really opened up the physical body and really settled your energy, giving you a good, positive outlook for the day. So thank you very much for joining me.